with your weekly oracle reading for March 14th through 20th, 2016. And they'll sneak in St. Patrick's Day in this upcoming week. So kiss me, I'm Irish. Isn't everybody Irish on March 17th? Although I have recently learned in the last, probably 10 years that there is an Irish connection in my family. There is always Italian and French. I always knew that. But I didn't know that there was Irish up until the last 10 years. So there you go. That's what truly being Canadian is all about. So happy St. Patrick's Day to you if you're Irish or not Irish on the 17th. And WHITEHAWK had said that this last week that it would be deceiving and that it would turn around. And so in other words, it would probably be a really good week in the end. But I have to say in the beginning, like he said, it was deceiving. You know, I can't believe all the stuff that came up and the intensity of the issues and how fatigued and lethargic even my little ones were. They were really, really tired and fatigued with this energy. You can see how it affects them. And it's a good thing to look at the people around you that you work with and your family when it comes to full moons and, you know, eclipses and when the equinox and solstice energies arrive. Check and see, you know, they can come up, those energies can start about a month ahead of time, you know, depending upon how sensitive you are to energy. And of course, that we're talking about the empaths, we're talking about highly sensitive people. But everybody is affected by it. In fact, I bet you'd find that many fights occur between spouses and co-workers and bosses, or frustration and stuff like that occurs more during full moons and more during eclipses and more during the changing of the seasons. So the more you become aware of it, the more you sort of understand it, and you can sort of prepare yourself, right? Although I don't think you're ever completely prepared, but you can sort of say, oh, you know you have a foundation from where it's coming from. So for my children, I know they're really tired this past week because of this, and I can then say to them, you know, this too shall pass, we'll get through it and you'll feel better next week. Because also the spring energies are coming, and that you know, makes us feel much more alive as well, because the winter can be very challenging to get through with all the gray skies, because we are light beings, are we not? We are here for the light, and there's less light where I live in the winter. So there are all those things that affect us, and I don't think that, you know, mainstream society, that we ever took all this stuff into account. It sort of became a new age thing, right? Where it's really funny, because not new age, it's old age. It's old age, it's wisdom. And I'm sure Native American spirituality, you know, they didn't just know. No. The elders passed down this knowledge to them year after year after year. And that's how they knew to, you know, go with the moons for hunting or planting or anything like that. And so, you know, make yourself aware. It's not crazy stuff. It's really, really not. Make yourself aware as to what's going on in your environment. And that's what, you know, WHITEHAWK and I are here to help you do, to make you aware of what's going on in the world. And I don't know what's going on in front of me. We're kind of delayed. So that was what happened last week, and there was a lot of dark energy out there. In fact, I was going out to a store, and I was pulling through into a parking spot, and you know when you pull into the parking spot, but you see the parking spot in front of it is free, so you pull through so you don't have to back out when you're leaving. And so just as I was pulling through, this other car was coming in, and she was so mad, like you couldn't believe. She was like a young 21-year-old. You know, she was so mad that I had pulled in. I could see her mouth. Oh, she took my bleeping spot, you know, and she was giving me these really bad looks, and she was with a friend who was a guy, and I could tell he was really like upset that, you know, the way she was behaving. And so I put the car in reverse, and I backed up, and I was kind of like looking at her and kind of like putting my hands like, easy, tiger, easy. You know, it was like, it's not a big deal. It's really not, you know. Plus there were so many other parking spots around. Like, it's not like, you know, Christmas shopping and you need to have this parking spot or something. And so when she did that too, my heart started racing. Like, I could feel, and this is how it works for sensitives, I could feel all her anger and that was going on within her. And so she just happened to be going into the same store as I was. And so I just said, you know what? I'm not going in there. I'm not going to take somebody else's anger that has nothing to do with me, because really that's displaced anger. And, you know, really I could have just kept my car there, but I didn't, because I'm not like that. It's not a big deal to me. But to her it was, because she's, you know, obviously a rager and has some problems, some anger issues. So I just said, you know what, I'm not going into that store, and I just went into a different store. So those are creating boundaries. You know, you don't have to go in. Sometimes you can go in, you know, you don't have to stop people like that from you going into a store that you want to go into. But why would you want to deal with all that displaced anger? And there is so much displaced anger out there. I'm like, wow, to get upset that someone took your parking spot, reality check, big reality check. And so I just went to a different store, and life was good, and I found something at this store that I wanted anyways. So that is my blurb on last week. I do hope that you survived it. I'm sure you did. The reality is we're always going to survive it. It's just that life has its ebbs and flows, and we do that, and WHITEHAWK and I are here to help you get through them. And I use my life as an example so you understand, so that you're not alone and you don't think you're cuckoo, because you're really not. You're just becoming more aware. All right, so I'm going to pull over, and we're going to go get the divine WHITEHAWK and see what he has to say. Okay, so I've pulled over, so let's go get WHITEHAWK and see what he has to say for this upcoming week. Oh, I think it's almost the upcoming week of spring too, guys, is it? Does spring arrive on the 20th or 21st? Regardless, let's see what he has to say. Indeed, little ones, welcome to you one, and welcome to you all as we arrive in a new place in our life and in our time. And although many of you are wondering what it is that I'm talking about, for how could we arrive in a new place in a new time over and over again, it is because we can arrive in a new place in a new time over and over again. For indeed, it is how we grow. It is our growth. It is how our growth shows. So when I say to you that you are going to arrive in a new time and place, I mean that you are evolving, you are changing, whether it be in your higher consciousness, in your consciousness, or in your subconsciousness. There is a change that is occurring within you, and within you, once the alignment is fulfilled, then from without you will come the results. And so for many of you, this is occurring currently and will continue to occur in this upcoming week. If you recall, there was a week where we were speaking about how, sorry guys, about how it was we were to cross to the other side in our boat, and I told you to get in the boat, and many of you had already crossed to the other side and were getting onto land. There are many of you who are on land and are now finding your legs again and are continuing to walk a new path. And now there are many of you as well who had, at the time I had said get in the boat, decided to get in the boat and are still crossing. And there are those who are just arriving. And so you see, we can happen in many different intervals within our life, and yet we're all arriving at a new time and a new place throughout. And so although we all arrive at a new time and place, it will look very different for everyone. And so for those of you who had arrived here a couple of weeks ago, you are going to find that your life indeed will take a new shape and form as you have so wanted, as you have so wished. In other words, you are going to begin anew. You're going to begin a new life. There has been something that has been plaguing you, something that has been holding you down and keeping you from moving into your new life, and you've been asking for help for many, many moons. And the good news is that it will now happen for you. So welcome to your new life. And thank you for your continued prayers and your continued devotion to yourself, to honoring you, yourself, and your soul's contracts, soul's life. For the others, as you can tell, the intervals will be different. There will be those of you who are coming to land and will begin to make the ascent out of the boat onto land. And for those of you doing this, you will find that you're quite tired from your journey, actually. And so for those people who are moving forward and finding a new life, you will be resting. Yes, because your journey has been long, and you will arrive thinking, gosh, that was long. Oh my God, I'm so tired. And so it will be a time of rest for you and respite. As for those who are now crossing, you will find that you are in a space of anxiety and uncertainty. And so what I would say to you is to just let it go. Let go of the reins and simply allow yourself to float to where it is you need to go. Let go of the reins. Stop trying to control where it is that you're going and where you're going to be and where you're going to land and when you're going to land. Simply just go with the flow. For once you stop trying to control and just let go, life occurs. But when we try to control it or obsess over it, life does not occur. And for those of you who are newly arrived on the side where the boat is to leave, to come across to this other side. So although you are arriving at a new side, there is now another side to get to. Welcome. And what you will find you have is trepidation about getting into the boat. And like I will say to you that I have said to so many is get in the goddamn boat. Sorry. So sometimes he does swear, you know, and sometimes it's apropos. And so that is what he says for you guys. He says, do you want your life to remain the same? Then stay on land and do not get in the boat, for nothing will change. Nothing is going to change. You know that. You have seen the results over and over again. So get in the goddamn boat and make your way across, and life will be better for you that way. So God bless you all on your journey in many different intervals, many different places, yet you're still all on the same journey. It is all like the same path, you're just at different places. And so he says, God bless you all. I know for some of you will think how unfair that there are those who are ahead of you who now get to relish in their new life that they have so wanted and desired. But what I say to you is to take them as an example as to where you may be in a few months if you just get in the goddamn boat. Okay. Sorry. Okay. And so he says, I leave you with those words of wisdom for this upcoming week. He blesses himself. He says, God bless my children. You're all on your way today. Ah, dear. Thank you, WHITEHAWK. Oh my God, he makes me laugh sometimes. It's like, you know, I'm like, oh, he's swearing. That's a bit weird because it's not exactly a high vibration thing. But anytime he's ever sweared in a reading, and honestly, I've never done it in a private reading where he's really swearing unless it's really been necessary because it might show the personality of the person or something trying to come through. It's rare that he does it, but when he does it, it's bang on. It's so funny. Anyways, he's always a mystery. That's the only way I can put it. So it looks like, I guess there's many of us now here, but all of us are at different intervals. And so that's why I guess he felt the need to give that type of a reading. So wherever you are on the path, God bless you, and know that you're on the right path and you're doing the right thing. And there's more joy and peace and contentment on your path to the real you. So God bless you. Enjoy St. Patrick's Day. Moderation, moderation, moderation. And happy spring if it is on the 20th. Otherwise, I'll see you next week. And I'm sure I'll wish you a happy spring then too. God bless, guys. You know I love you. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed what you see here and subscribe. God bless.